Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode. Something a little bit different here today. We're actually going to be doing a video response, and we're responding to my good mate Pete, aka On a Retro Tip. He's another YouTuber, and his video was all about 5 things, yes 5 things, as I'm showing you with my hand, that he would save from his game room if it was burning down. Now, let's just take a moment to think of the psychological effect that your game room actually burning down would have on you. Hopefully salvaging 5 items would be enough to stop you from tipping over the edge. Anyway, let's just move straight on and talk about the top 5 things in the collection which mean the most to me. So, would it even be a Liverpool Retro Gamer top any number video if I didn't do some honourable mentions? I'm sorry to do this every time, but there's just too many games, alright, so I'm doing my best here. Okay, so I'm going to do these really quickly because they're honourable but they're not quite there. So number 1 would be my original copy of Mega Games 2. Hopefully the camera is my friend here and everything focuses throughout this video, but I'll do a close-up of this in a moment. Long and short of it, this is my original copy, and me and my best friend Greg and my brother Keith and everyone that was at my house when I was playing on the Mega Drive, we went through Golden Axe and Streets of Rage on this like you would not believe. So big game, special to my heart. The next one I'm actually going to mention is one that I've got since doing the YouTube channel, and that is actually my Final Fantasy VIII Collector's Edition. Now, the reason I'd save this is not just because it is a collector's edition and one of the only ones on the PS1, and because I'm a big Final Fantasy fan. It's actually because I did a video for Retro Dojo in Liverpool, and this is something that they gave me as a gift after the video, and they hadn't even seen the edited final product yet. They were just really happy I was giving them some promotion. So it's really nice to be grateful, and it's always nice to stay humble. And yeah, I really appreciate this, and I know it's for a lot of people it's what they always want long term, the Final Fantasy collection, and it's something that I'll never forget and I'll never stop being appreciative for. I was meant to be doing these quickly, look at me. Anyway, the last thing I'm going to say for the honourable mention is going to be this, the collector's edition of Xenoblade Chronicle on the Wii. Now the reason this is in here, and this is much more recent, obviously the definitive edition has came out recently, but me and my partner Ash, we have just completed this recently. It took us like 90 hours to finish this game, and we try and do every single side quest and everything. I haven't got into an older RPG like I got into this one for such a long time, literally years and years. And obviously the Wii, although it was a really popular console, the games weren't quite there for a lot of people. This one, buy the Switch game. I'm actually going to do a review of the definitive edition, but buy the Switch game. This is a really special game to me, and you know, me and my partner and everything, and it's a beautiful bit of kit as well. So anyway, it makes the list. Let's play this game, okay? Let's go on, number 5. So at number 5, the start of the list, other than the honourable mentions, we actually have a strategy guide. And not any strategy guide, we have Pokemon Red and Blue, the Master Guide, which is, once again, hopefully focusing. This is a really special guide to me, and not necessarily just me, but for me and my brother. And just a quick side note, by the way, my brother actually has a YouTube channel. It's called KD's Attic. He focuses on stuff like games, let's plays, and he talks about music and things like that as well. So if that's your cup of tea and you like my videos, maybe you'll love his as well. So there you go, Keith, I'll give you a shout out, mate, and I'm talking about this guide. So anyway, going back, I think it was Keith that actually bought it, but this guide really, it's just, not only is it one of my most used guides of all time, but it's so helpful. I don't even know if I'll go back and play the game now without this, because it really just showed us the way. And you know, what an irony there, the guide showed you the way. But it was just so helpful, so informative, and it really is just everything I think about whenever I think about the Pokemon phenomenon. I'm always thinking about this guide, and you can see here we've actually got the original one that we have, because this one I managed to pick up later. It's a little bit more expensive now than what I'd like it to be, because I want everyone to be able to pick this up. But yeah, as you can see, the original one we have is really battered and worn, and that's because we put an awful lot of love into this, and yeah, we definitely got our money's worth. So that's it, the Pokemon Master Guide, number 5. At number 4, we're moving on to hardware now. So a lot of people will probably choose this, to be perfectly honest, but not everyone will be able to choose this, because this is specifically my nan's. So we are moving on to my nan's original Super Nintendo, which still functions, it's still working, And people must have been smoking cigarettes in that house because this thing is yellow. I'll put it side by side here next to a grey one, and you can instantly see that one of them has had a bit more love than the other one, but they still function. So say what you want about Nintendo, those machines have got a long lifespan. But yeah, for obvious reasons, this is one of the first consoles I ever played in my life. We did have an original SNES, but sadly that ended up breaking. But we still have my nan's one here, and I'm really glad we have it. Got a few games as well. In general, I'm really lucky to have quite a lot of stuff from my childhood, gaming wise still. But this particular one is one of the earliest consoles I ever played, and it's just so cool to have something that was a big part of the family. And yeah, it always will be, especially if the game room was burning down, because I'd be grabbing it. Well, it'll be the fourth thing I'll be grabbing anyway. Number 3 is another personal item, and we're sticking with hardware, but we're moving to handheld hardware. And what we have here is we have the NES limited edition Game Boy Advance SP. So here you go, it's just covering my face and hopefully the camera's picking it up. What about now? Wow, what an action shot. Anyway, yeah, we're moving on to this. This was a present from my ma. My mum picked up this for me when I think I was 11 years old maybe, and I just couldn't believe it. I honestly could not believe it. Like I said earlier with the Pokemon guys, we had a Game Boy Color. But to move on to this, I just remember turning it on and then pressing the screen button in the middle. You can see that one right there. I remember just clicking the brightness button, and then the screen popped up and it was backlit. I just could not believe it. I had no idea that this thing was rare. I had no idea that it was even limited edition. To me, this was just the latest Game Boy, and I couldn't get enough of it. I specifically remember, by the way, Mum, if you're watching this video, I remember opening it, and then my ma just went, "I'll just throw away the box." So I'd love to have the NES packaging, but I don't have that right now. But I'm so lucky, because we moved house loads when I was younger. I'm so lucky to still have this little thing. And you want to talk about value for money, I reckon I've probably put more time into this little handheld than I've ever put into any game in my entire life, honestly. I love this thing, and it's one of the best, if not the best Christmas present I ever got. So that's number 3, the Game Boy Advance NES XP. Number 2, I'll be running over to the games, and I'm going to be a little bit of a cheat right now, and I'm actually going to mention 2, but the memory, if you will, is 1 instance. So the 2 games are going to be Castlevania Symphony of the Night. I'm sure a lot of people are like, oh well, obviously because it's rare, and then also an NTSC boxed copy of Chrono Trigger. Honestly, like these are by far my 2 most valuable games in my collection. I mean, let's just look at that. That might be a nice thumbnail. But anyway, yeah, these are by far 2 most valuable games, and you would not believe it. I got both of these at the same time when I first started collecting. A nice car boot sale called Car Bootle in Bootle, Liverpool. I went there, I was just asking anyone, do you have any games? I'd literally been collecting for about 5-6 months. I was only 17, and yeah, I just went over to this fella. He said come over to me storage facility. I went over and it was a dive. Let me tell you. I went in there and I was like, I might not be getting out of here. But anyway, went over to this box. He had a few consoles, often 50 quid, and he said for £1 you can have all these games in a box. And these were in there, and not only were these in there, but I got like Shenmue 1 and 2, got like Metal Gear Solid. I got tons of games. I still got a picture from the Instagram on that day, and I wish so much back then that I'd had the foresight to film that happening, because people never even believed that this actually happened, because everybody gets it. One time in your life as a collector, you're gonna get like an absolute steal, like a gem of a purchase. I know so many people that have had this similar type of story. Anyway, this is mine. For that, this was one of the big things which made me a game collector. I got these games and I was like, oh my word, there could be so much more that I could get. Number 1, we've reached the pinnacle of the tower, the first thing that I would grab if this bloody room was burning down. And yeah, after the last 2 games, you're probably thinking that it's going to be some massive, extravagant, super, ultra rare thing. But unfortunately for you, it's actually just the most sentimental item that I have. And that is my original copy of Final Fantasy X. And believe it or not, I didn't buy this, it was my brother. Keith bought this game pretty much because me and my cousin Matty really pressured him into getting it, and this is when it had just came out and we just got a PS2. And yet we pressured him into getting it, and for whatever reason he didn't like it. But that didn't matter to me because he didn't like it, but I played this thing. Me and our Matty, I can't even tell you how many times I completed this game. I absolutely love it. This is my original one. It's got the labels a bit wrecked, the box a bit wrecked, blah blah, it's scratched up. I love this thing. This is, I talked about the last one on number 2 about being basically the reason why I became a retro collector really, and it really gave me that push to do it. But this is basically not just the reason why I collect retro games or why I love Final Fantasy games. It's genuinely shaped the person that I am. It has such a massive effect on me, my character, and at the time I was going through a lot of my personal life and everything, and it meant so much to me, this game. And it was one of the things just kept me going in life, even though I was such a young lad. I can't stress enough how big an impact this game had on me. And now I work as a games tester, and I really put it down to this one. Now don't get me wrong, this is my second favourite game of all time. Final Fantasy VII is number 1. Sorry if I just ruined another list there, by the way. Hopefully you'll watch the video anyway, if I ever do it. But yeah, this is such a big game to me, I can't stress it enough. And it probably would have been Final Fantasy VII, but my brother's actually got that copy. This is the thing in my game room, and this is the one that means the most to me in this entire room. So there you go guys, that's it. They're the top 5 things plus some honourable mentions, which I'd get if this room was burning down right now. Now, I could talk about my top 20 things in this room that I'd grab. I'll probably just come in with a suitcase and I'd just literally just throw everything into it realistically. But yeah, everything I've got in this room, I've got a story about every single thing. There wasn't anything I just bought. I didn't just go on eBay and buy a collection, do you know what I mean? I've been collecting this stuff for a long time, been in this game since I was 17. So anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you ever want to hear a little bit more about how I got this stuff and what means the most to me and what's sentimental and what's not, you know, we can do that. And if it is just rare games that you want to see and not just things that mean a lot to myself, maybe I'll do a video for that as well. So anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you want to do a video response, feel free. I can't wait to watch it. Pete, thank you for the idea. And yeah, hope you all enjoyed watching. And if you haven't played it, by the way, play Final Fantasy X. Seriously, it's this close to being my favourite game ever. Anyway, see you later everyone. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for watching. Peace. Oh, no way. I was looking for these guards for ages, Pocky and Rocky too. Yes, man. No way.